Welcome to Jurisedge Academy's YouTube channel. In this video, we are going to discuss important case laws for the month of March 2022. We have also made part 1 of this video. You can check that out from the link given in the description box. So let's start this video and discuss the remaining cases from March 2022 for the CLAT examination. The first case will be Sartaj Khan versus State of Uttarakhand. It is an important 3-judge bench decision. However, the judgment is quite short, but it does deal with an important aspect of sanction required for prosecution of offences committed outside India under section 188 of CRPC. So in this case, the court has held that the sanction is not required when the offence is partly also committed in India. This was a case of human trafficking in which the accused has brought in the victim from the country of Nepal, and the remaining offence was committed in India, and therefore this is an important judgment because however the judgment is short, the concepts surrounding it can become important. The second important judgment would be Vijaykumar versus State of West Bengal, another important case. It's a 2-judge bench decision. It's important because it does deal with 2 important areas, that is contract law and IPC. So in this case, the court was dealing with the issue of breach of contract, and the court has held that a mere breach of contract will not amount to the criminal offence of cheating. So this is again an important judgment. It's a short judgment, but it does combine 2 important areas that are very frequently tested in the CLAT PG examination. Coming to the third case, we have Singh versus State of Uttar Pradesh. It's a 2-judge bench decision. It is a judgment on the issue of whether a person who has not been named in the FIR, whether that person can be summoned at the time of cognizance being taken by the magistrate or not. So again, even though the judgment is short, it relates to an important area under CRPC, that is cognizance by the magistrates and the power of the magistrates while taking cognizance. Coming to the fourth judgment, we have Messagepuri Investments versus Mrs. Young Friends and Company. In this 2-judge bench decision, however, there's a lot of discussion on the factual matrix of the case, but some part of the judgment also discusses the supervisory power of High Court under Article 227 of the Constitution. So even though the whole judgment may not be relevant for you, this part where 227 is discussed could be relevant because there have also been other important judgments on the power of High Court under Article 226 and 227 in the last 1 year. So this could be an important case in light of this particular finding. Lastly, there are some other cases as well which have come up in March. However, they are very, very short and may not be dealing with entirely something that may fall in the syllabus of CLAT, and this is why they have just been mentioned here. So there are short judgments which you can go through once. So the first case in that would be Deputy Commissioner of Income Tax versus Mrs. M.R. Shah Logistics Private Limited. Now this is a case on taxation law wherein the court is discussing about exemptions and how exemptions are only available to the assessee. The second case would be Ajay Kumar Rathi versus Seema Rathi. Now this is a case with respect to maintenance given to daughter under family law, in which the court has held that if the daughter doesn't wish to maintain relationships with the father, then the father is not obliged to maintain her major daughter as per family law. The third case would be Vipul Rasikbhai Kohli Jankar versus State of Gujarat. Now this is a very short 6-page judgment. However, it does deal with criminology in general. It does talk about the idea of penology and what kind of punishment is suitable for offences, keeping into account the general understanding of rehabilitation of the victims. Next case would be Swarnlata versus Kalavati. Again, not a very important judgment, but it did lay down an important point that whenever genuineness of a will or a testament is to be ascertained, Article 14 cannot be used to see whether the will was genuine or not. So this was a case in which the issue was whether the will is a genuine document or not, and the contention was that since it does not divide the property equally between the children, and this is why the genuineness can be called into question. So in this slide, the court has made this finding. Lastly, we have State of Rajasthan versus Ashok Khetolia, a short judgment which talks about the 74th Constitutional Amendment and the power of states to legislate on the issue of local bodies. So rarely do we see any judgment on municipalities, so this could be a short important judgment that you can go through. So this brings us to the end of our cases for March 2022. We'll be updating these lists for other months as well. So do subscribe to our channel for get other similar updates.